Welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to Real Talk Bougie, guys. We have an amended petitioner motion for temporary hearing on parenting time and child support filed by Miss K. Lanice Tucker, better known as Kandi Burrus. Okay. This was filed on the 9th, which would be Monday at 7 p.m. So today's Thursday. Let's get into it. Court's next week, guys. Let's see what's going on. So this is the amended petitioner motion. So this is amended. So basically, you have to go back to the petitioner's motion for temporary hearing on parenting time and child support that we went over the other day when Todd, the father's answer. This is Kandi's amended. Okay, let's get into it. If you want to know what that is, just go to my last video and we did kind of like a side by side of both documents. So let's see if we can point out what we know has changed since. So let's say, okay, so comes now petitioner K. Lanice Tucker, that's Kandi Burrus, in the above styled action through the undersigned counsel and hereby files her amended motion for temporary hearing for parenting time and child support with like numbered paragraphs as well. Petitioner filed her petition for divorce on November 21st, 2025 in Fulton County. Petitioner filed her motion for temporary hearing on parenting time and child support January 8th, respectively. Number 2, parties are biological parents of A. Tucker, B. Tucker. I'm skipping some things. We've seen all this before. If you have not seen some of these things, then get caught up. I think I did create a playlist. If I don't have a playlist by the time that this is showing, I will. Okay. Let me just make this a little wider. Well, I guess that's about as wide as it's going to be. Okay. All right. Number 3, respondent does not support the needs and so respondent, that's Todd. If you're new, respondent is Todd, petitioner is Kandi. Respondent does not support the needs and expenses of the minor children on a consistent basis. He does not contribute financially to the children's private school tuition. He has not purchased a single uniform for their children, textbooks, supplies, or paid any enrollment fees to date. The children are enrolled in extracurricular activities that include jujitsu, chess club, basketball, Mandarin tutoring, English tutoring, dance, respectively. Petitioner pays 100% of all fees and associated expenses for the children's extracurricular activities. So Kandi pays for everything as far as the kids' extracurricular activities at this moment. The respondent does not contribute financially to any of the aforementioned expenses on behalf of the children, leaving her this responsibility solely on the petitioner. Number 4, since the petitioner filed her petition for divorce. So it sounds like the same things, but they're going in depth. They're going into more detail. Number 4, since the petitioner filed her petition of divorce for divorce on November 21st, 2025, the minor children have had 2 separate birthday parties. Respondent attended the parties despite the fact that he willingly refused to financially contribute to the expenses of the birthday parties for either child, despite the petitioner's request for financial assistance. Number 5, since the date of separation, the respondent has been residing in the petitioner's guest house. This property is a pre-marital asset acquired by the petitioner prior to the marriage. During the time that the respondent, Todd, has been residing in the detached guest house, he has not paid a single expense for the maintenance and upkeep of the home, to include utilities, gas, lawn care, water, pest control, or even any fees associated with the alarm system on the property. Number 6, the respondent has not made a single monetary contribution to the maintenance of the main house for which the parties' minor children reside. The respondent does not serve as primary custodial of the two children, despite the portrayals he's made on social media and print media and through the legal pleadings that he and his counsel have filed in the pending divorce proceedings. The respondent has typically commented to driving the children to school and may participate in the children's bedtime routines on nights that he decides to come home to the guest house. This has been demonstrated conduct of the respondent since the parties separated and while the petitioner has been working on Broadway in New York. The only consistent parenting time that the respondent has held is to transport the one minor child to basketball practice weekly. Number 7, the petitioner, a professional entertainer and reality television personality, has been employed on Broadway in New York since November 2025 and will remain so until March of 2026. Despite her rehearsal and live show performances schedule, petitioner consistently flies back to exercise parenting time with her two minor children. The petitioner is not an absentee mother and never has been. She is away on a limited employment detail. On the days of the week that the petitioner is working in New York, she has arranged and pays for caregivers for the children. The caregiver resides in the home on a full-time basis with the children, attends to daily needs of the children, picks the children up from school daily, transports the children to activities and school when necessary, prepares meals for the children, assists with homework assignments, prepares the children for the day and bedtime on a regular basis. The service and assistance of caregivers is distant from the respondent as he is often not home or chooses not to provide any contribution to the aforementioned needs of the children daily on a consistent basis. The respondent does not or has not even paid fees or costs for the caregiver at any point in time. He is a beneficiary of services and assistance of a caregiver, yet has willfully refused to contribute financially to this service. Number 8, it has been customary for both petitioner and respondent to travel for employment opportunities during the marriage and prior to and after the birth of both of the minor children. This Broadway appearance in New York is a limited engagement and concludes March of 2026. While the petitioner has been appearing on Broadway, the respondent has been traveling internationally. Specifically, he has indulged in multiple trips to the Bahamas since the petitioner filed for divorce. The respondent disclosed to the petitioner that he traveled to the Bahamas was based upon the fact that he was starting a business in the Bahamas. In consequence, it may also be argued that the respondent extended travel for quote unquote work may be anticipated more so than the petitioner, hence also making it difficult or impossible for him to serve as primary custodian of the two minor children, the role he has never held. At the time that the respondent has opted to travel domestically and internationally, this is number 9. At the time that the respondent has opted to travel domestically and internationally since November 21st of 2025 to date, he has done so on multiple occasions without providing adequate, timely notice to the petitioner. In fact, he traveled internationally during the month of December, intentionally missing the kids' holiday school performances, knowing that the petitioner would be away working in New York. The respondent is also, number 10, the respondent is also committed to domestic travel and recently traveled to Breckenridge, Colorado. He also has a history of traveling to promote his film on promotional tours throughout the United States. Despite traveling for quote unquote business and personal benefits, the respondent has failed to pay child support to the petitioner or pay any money towards any of the children's stated monthly and annual expenses to date. The petitioner has solely been covering all the financial support and parties financial support of the parties' minor children. Number 11, the petitioner has served as the traditional caregiver for the children since their respective birth to date. Even while working in New York for this limited engagement, the petitioner continues to address the needs of the children by scheduling and attending doctor's appointments, overseeing activity schedules, and satisfying all financial needs for the children. Number 12, the respondent did not pay for or even facilitate the children's trip to New York for the 2025 Christmas holiday break. The petitioner paid for flights for the children and the caregiver without the assistance of the respondent. In fact, the respondent did not even fly with the children from Atlanta to New York, nor did he remain in New York with the children for the entire time that they were present with the petitioner. He flew in days later, contributing nothing financially to the travel accommodations. Number 13. That was number 12, right? Number 13, petitioner desires that respondent share in the financial expenses of the children on an equal 50-50 basis. The petitioner desires to exercise parenting time with her minor children consistently without interference from the respondent. While the divorce proceedings have been pending before the court, the respondent will make attempts to use the children or threaten to restrict the petitioner's access to the children if she does not comply with his demands for resolution of the matter. Therefore, court intervention is necessary to not only ensure that the respondent financially supports the children on a consistent basis, but that the petitioner is afforded consistent and peaceful parenting time with the children, not only on a daily basis, but during the scheduled holiday breaks. Number 14. Therefore, the petitioner requests that the court issue a temporary parenting plan that affords the parties with the respective scheduling parenting time with the minor children on a temporary basis. The petitioner requests that the temporary parenting plan also includes a plan to address how parties shall split time with the minor children during the upcoming holidays and academic breaks. Number 15, petitioner asserts that the respondent is a good father, yet she desires for him to share in the expenses of their children. The petitioner believes that court intervention is necessary to get financial support from the minor children from the respondent. Number 16, the petitioner asserts that it would be in the best interest of the minor children for the court to schedule a hearing to address the issues of temporary child support and parenting time. The petitioner acknowledges that the parties have been committed to good faith to resolve all outstanding issues. The petitioner further reiterates her commitment to continue such negotiations, yet in the interim, she requests the court schedule a hearing to hear arguments on pending motions. Whereas respectfully request the Honorable Court, number 1, issue a Rule 9C and schedule a hearing to hear the petitioner's motions, issue a order directing the respondent to pay child support and share in the expenses of the minor children on a temporary basis, issue a temporary order awarding the petitioner and respondent with parenting time with the minor children on a regular basis, issuing a temporary order awarding petitioner and respondent with parenting time with the minor children on a regular basis in major holidays, issue a temporary order awarding petitioner parenting time with the minor children during the upcoming spring break, and grant any other relief to the petitioner that is just and proper. Now, to compare what was on the previous one, what she was asking for, I feel like, let's see. Okay, so I just checked the original filing, and we looked at that yesterday, but the relief that she requests, like where it says wherefore petitioner respectfully requests There's not any visible differences that I see at this moment, but I did eyeball it. I didn't like side by side, word for word. So there could be some subtle differences that I did not notice, but it looks pretty much the same five things that they're requesting, or four things with the last up to the court's discretion. Look, this is the thing. This is what I'm going to say off the top. Like, versus her first document that was filed, I'm going to say, like, where was this one the first time? Because this is very much more descriptive. This is more descriptive. This has more details and gives something more for the court to go on based on, well, he doesn't pay for this and he doesn't pay for that. This document details, well, he's not paying tuition. He's not paying for uniforms. He's not paying for books. He's not paying for supplies. He hasn't paid for birthday parties. He's not paying for plane tickets. He's not paying, which maybe that was obvious in the other one, but I feel like they took more time to really illustrate. And I'm going to also just say this feels a lot better written. This is just a better document overall. It goes in more detail. It gives you more of what the court would need to know. Obviously, it gives us more of what we want to know because we're following the case, right? But as far as the court concerned, and as far as what the court would need to understand and determine what this mother is looking for from her soon-to-be ex-husband to contribute to the children, and explaining the ownership of the home. This is a pre-marriage purchase. This is the deal, though. We don't really know how Kandi and Todd did business as a couple throughout the marriage, right? We really don't know. We don't know how they addressed things like rent, rental properties, if they even had any, joint marital property assets, individual assets. According to Todd, mortgage payments were paid by either person on respective properties that are individually owned. We don't really know how they were doing business as a couple. It sounds like a lot of things were separate. Kandi was paying for her stuff. He was paying for his stuff. But who was paying for their stuff, right? Has Kandi always footed the bills for everything? Todd pays his own bills, and then Kandi pays for everything else? Because that's what it sounds like. It doesn't, again, in this document, we don't really see he stopped paying, or he used to pay and now he's not paying. Who has been paying these kids' bills? Like, did something change other than he's no longer in the house? Not to say that that's not important, and not to say that that's a reason. What I'm saying is, has something changed since you guys split up? Is the change that you guys split up and that you want him now to contribute on a more equal basis? Because it doesn't sound like he stopped paying. It sounds like, again, and I've been saying this, he hasn't been paying. Now, it doesn't mean that he can't pay, because he pays mortgages and I guess expenses on properties that he owns. It's known that he's an entrepreneur. It's known that he's making money. Nobody's calling Todd a bum or anything like that. Maybe some people are, but I'm certainly not. But I'm just trying to understand and ask the questions that everybody wants to know, because it's just giving Kandi's paying for everything. And to me, it sounds like she's been paying for everything. I don't know. You guys tell me what you think. Because that's what it's giving. I would think that if he had been paying and there was an issue because he stopped paying, that they would have said prior to the separation, Mr. Tucker was contributing equally. He was paying since we filed for divorce. He stopped paying. I just don't see it saying anything like that. Let me just go back one more time just to see, because maybe I'm wrong. Okay. The respondent does not support the children's expenses. She said he doesn't. He does not support the on a consistent basis. So is it he throws a couple of bucks every now and again? Is that what that is? I mean, I don't know. He does not contribute financially to the children's school tuition. Period. Period. There's nothing that says since we filed for divorce, Mr. Tucker has withheld making payments and the petitioner has had to jump in. It sounds like she's been paying for everything. Okay. And I'm going to be, look, I'm going to be totally honest. That might be the problem. That might be the problem. If Todd is a able-bodied man who makes a certain amount of money and who has been making a certain amount of money, why has he not been responsible for covering this certain amount of bills? Right? He should have been paying this certain amount of bills a long time ago. So maybe he's not doing it because he feels like, I don't have to. I haven't been, and I'm not gonna, and you gonna cut me a check. I'm just saying, I'm not saying that that's what should happen. I'm just saying from his point of view, that might be how he feels. And she would know better than all of us because she's married to him. But at the end of the day, this is what can happen when you are financially not in the same ballpark. Todd may have to hold on to his coins a little tighter. It's not to say that Todd doesn't have coins. He doesn't have Kandi's coins, okay? And it's not to say he can't pay, but maybe he's going off of, I haven't had to pay. I pay for my properties, she pays for hers, and I help out when I can. Maybe that's what they've been doing. I don't know. You guys comment down below and let me know what you think. But that's what I think is going on. You know what I'm saying? Like, you guys let me know. Okay. Anyway, guys, if you're new here, make sure to subscribe. And if you're not new here, make sure to hit the thumbs up because it's really important. And also, if you have not hyped videos this week, make sure to give me your hypes. You can give me all 3 of them. If you have not hyped this week, hype me up. Okay. Hype this video and I will see you in the next one. And again, newbies, make sure to subscribe to this channel and set your notifications. So every time I go live, post another video, put up a short, community post, all of the things, you can be notified. I'll see you later. Bye, guys. Take care.